Good evening, everyone. So, after a long period of time, now I'm putting my video on my YouTube channel, which is on topic anti-amoebic and anti-protozoal drugs. And before I start my video, I want to request you if you like this video and if it is helpful and useful to you, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Nisika Pharmacology Discussion. And now I'm going to discuss with you anti-amoebic and anti-protozoal drugs. So, various anti-protozoal infections can be amoebiasis, coccidiosis, cryptosporidiosis, giardiasis, leishmaniasis, malaria, protozoal meningoencephalitis, toxoplasmosis, trypanosomiasis, and trichomoniasis. So, these are various anti-protozoal infections. So, amoebiasis is caused by Entamoeba histolytica and is transmitted via water and food. Giardiasis is caused by Giardia lamblia and it is transmitted via water and contact. Trichomoniasis is it is caused by the Trichomonas vaginalis and it is transmitted via sexual contact. African sleeping sickness and American sleeping sickness is caused by the Trypanosoma brucei and Trypanosoma cruzi, respectively. And African sleeping sickness is caused by fly bite, and American sleeping sickness is caused by triatomid bug bite. Leishmaniasis or Kala Azar is caused by Leishmania donovani, and it is caused by this bite of sandfly, that is Philae mortumus. Balantidiasis is caused by Balantidium and this is transmitted via food and water. Toxoplasmosis caused by the Toxoplasma gondii and it is transmitted by the cats or food. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium falciparum vivax or whale malaria and it is caused by the mosquito Anopheles bite. And babesiosis is caused by the babesia and it is caused by the transmitted by the tick. So first of all, I will discuss with you anti-amoebic drugs. Now, anti-amoebic drugs is caused by the infection by the Entamoeba histolytica, and it is transmitted by the fecal-oral route, and it is because of the poor environmental sanitation or low socioeconomic status is more prone to develop the amoebiasis, that is, infection caused by Entamoeba histolytica. So now, life cycle of amoeba is this is by this. Now, when the patient ingests the contaminated food, the cyst get converted into the trophozoites in the intestine, and they invade the intestinal mucosa and cause the ulcers, and they cause the various ulcers, and they cause bleeding. So that leads to various stomach ulcers, gastric ulcers, and intestinal ulcers, and dysentery. Dysentery is when there is diarrhea associated with the bleeding, and stool as watery and with associated with mucus. So now cysts they pass some cysts they get converted to trophozoites, and some trophozoites they pass via bloodstream into the liver and where they cause the hepatic necrosis and they cause the hepatic abscess and amoebema, that is amoebic liver abscess can be caused. And some of the cysts they pass unchanged from the intestine into the lumen of the intestine, and then they are passed into the feces. So these are cyst passes, means these are the and infection is caused by the cyst which passed unchanged in the lumen of the intestine and pass out from the intestine. These are cyst passer and these are responsible for the uh, reoccurrence of the disease, that is the amoebiasis. So luminal phase, cystin feces, which is responsible for transmission of the disease, such as propagation of disease. Tissue phase is ulcer, like amoebic liver ulcers or uh, uh, intestinal ulcers or dysentery or amoebic liver abscess. And some of the trophozoites, they also pass into the extraintestinal in organs like lungs, spleen, kidney, and brain and cause various infections in these organs. So classification as tissue myocytes are those which kill the intestinal as well as the extra-intestinal trophozoite phase. So nitromedazoles are the drugs like metronidazole, tinidazole, secnidazole, ronidazole, cetronidazole. Alkaloids like amytin and hydroamytin. These are also the tissue myocytes which act both intestinal and extra-intestinal. Extra-intestinal only is the which affects the liver, lungs, spleen, bone marrow, that is the chloroquine. Luminal is which infects the which attacks the cyst in the lumen like amide, that is siloxanide purate, it's hydroxyquinolone, that is quinetocolor, and antibiotics. These are for the prevention of the infections like tetracycline and aminoglycosides. Treatment with tissue mibicide should always be followed by luminal imibicide to eradicate the source of infection, because luminal imibicide is used to for the inhibition of the propagation or transmission of the disease. So always tissue mibicide should always be followed by the luminal imibicide in the treatment of amoebic dysentery or intestinal amoebiasis or extra-intestinal amoebiasis. So metronidazole is the prototype drug of nitromidazole, which is the tissue mibicide, and it also affects intestinal as well as the extra-intestinal phase of the amoebic uh, infection. So it was introduced in 1959, and it is the bactericidal agent, and it can be effective against the Giardia lamblia infection, anaerobic bacteria infection, Bacteroides flagellis, Fusobacterium, Clostridium perfringens, Helicobacter pylori, and anaerobic streptococci. With all these protozoa, for all these protozoal infections, the metronidazole is effective. So how it is, its mechanism of action is, it enters the microorganisms by diffusion. Means metronidazole will enter the Entamoeba histolytica, and then it will reduce the nitro group of the Entamoeba histolytica, and it will damage the DNA, and which will lead to cytotoxicity. It also inhibits the cell-mediated immunity and induce the mutagenesis also. It will cause a mutation also in the genetic structure of the Entamoeba histolytica, leading to killing of the protozoa. So amoebas, they possess the paradoxin-like low redox potential uh, electron transport proteins. Now, amoebas, they have the ferredoxin like low redox potential electron transport proteins that participate in the metabolic electron removal reactions, which is responsible for the generation of ATP. So, these nitro groups of the metronidazole is able to serve as the electron acceptor. It will accept the electron, it will uh, uh, reduce the these paradoxin like redox potential electron transport proteins, and these it will serve as the electron acceptor, forming cytotoxic compounds. It acts as the electron acceptor, and it will form the cytotoxic compounds that will bind to protein and DNA, leading to death of parasitic trophozoites. Means that will lead to death of the Entamoeba histolytica. That will lead, they are act as the electron transporter, leading to cytotoxic action, and these will kill the bacteria and DNA of the parasite, leading to death of the parasite. So pharmacokinetics is it is completely absorbed from the intestine, widely distributed in the body, and it is basically it is concentrated in the vaginal secretions, semen, saliva, CSF. Route of administration can be oral as well as parenteral. So adverse reactions can be, it can cause loss of appetite, nausea, metallic taste, abdominal cramps. Less frequent is it can cause headache, glossitis is the infection of the tongue, inflammation of the tongue, dry mouth, dizziness, rashes, transit. Neutropenia means decrease in the WBC count. On prolonged administration, peripheral neuropathy and CNS effects can be caused. CNS effects can be confusion, ataxia, dizziness, convulsions, hallucinations can be caused by this metronidazole. And it has the metallic taste, which is the basic side effect of metronidazole. So contraindication is, it is contraindicated in neurological disorders, blood dysplasias, first trimester of pregnancy, and chronic alcoholism. And as you know, it will cause disulfiram-like reaction with alcohol, so it is avoided. And it is also teratogenic, so it is avoided in the pregnancy also. Enzyme inducers like rifampicin, these are enzyme inducers. They will increase the metabolism of this drug, metronidazole, and that will lead to reduced therapeutic effect. Cimetidine, it is the enzyme inhibitor, so it will reduce the metabolism of the metronidazole. So we have to reduce the dose while giving the drug along with cimetidine. And this metronidazole, it reduces the renal elimination of the lithium. So lithium toxicity can occur. Therapeutic uses is, it can be used in the treatment of amoebiasis. Doses 400 milligram TDS 2 times a day for 4 to 7 days. Invasive dysentery and liver abscess 800 milligram. Luminal amoebiasis and giardiasis 200 milligram TDS per 2 gram once a day for 3 days. Trichomonas vaginitis 400 milligram TDS for 7 days. Anaerobic infections and Pseudomyosis colitis, ulcerative gingivitis, H. pylori, and peptic ulcer disease. Metronidazole is effective in all these infections. Tinidazole is another drug which comes in the nitronidazole category. It is has the slow metabolism, and so it has a long duration of action. Once daily dosing is sufficient for the tinidazole. It is better tolerated, used in amoebiasis, 2 gram once a day for 3 days. Secnidazole is also given 2 gram stat. Metronidazole in it can be given similar to metronidazole. It can be given in intestinal amoebiasis, giardiasis, trichomonas vaginitis. Cetronidazole is also a longer acting and better tolerated drug. Imetin is the drug which is given in the intestinal and extraintestinal amoebiasis, and just the tissue mibicide. It is alkaloid which is obtained from Syphilis apica guana. It inhibits the protein synthesis by arresting intraribosomal translocation of DNA amino acid complex. Means it will inhibit the translocation process of the tRNA, amino acid tRNA and the mRNA, and that will lead to reduced synthesis of DNA, leading to killing of the protozoa. Potent directly acting amibicide, which is the it will kill the trophozoites. It will not kill the cyst. Means it doesn't kill the cyst. It is cumulative toxicity is high and seldom used. Reserve drug not responding intolerant to metronidazole. Means it is a reserve drug and it is only given when the patient is not responding to metronidazole. It is luminal immunoside follows amitin to eradicate the cyst. Means it is not the luminal immunoside. Means it will not kill the cyst. It will only act at the intestinal and intestinal level. So luminal immunoside has to be given after giving this drug, that is imetin. Dihydrometin is also effective but less toxic and preferred over the imetin. Chloroquine, it is the drug which kills the trophozoites of the Entamoeba histolytica, concentrates in the liver, used in hepatic amoebiasis, and treatment is longer duration. Longer duration is there, and longer duration of treatment and resistance doesn't develop. Means it is used in the hepatic amoebiasis, means hepatic liver abscess or hepatic ulcer, liver ulcer. We give this drug chloroquine for the hepatic amoebiasis. It concentrates in the liver. Luminal amibicide must always be given with or after chloroquine to abolish the luminal cycle. Means we have to give it in the to kill the cyst in the lumen. We have to give luminal amibicide after chloroquine also. Dose in liver abscess is 600 milligram base for 2 days and then followed by 300 milligram for 2 to 3 weeks. A reserve drug only used when metronidazole is not tolerated. Means this is a reserve drug and it is only given in the liver amoebiasis when metronidazole is not tolerated. The loxonide furoate, it is the drug which is the luminal immunoside. It kills the trophozoites. The furoate ester is hydrolyzed in the intestine and the released teloxonide is largely absorbed. Means the furoate ester, it is hydrolyzed in the intestine and the released teloxonide is largely absorbed and it is the weaker immunoside than its furoate ester. Now, the loxonide is the weaker immunoside than its furoate ester. No systemic amoebic activity seen despite absorption and no antibacterial action. Drug of choice for mild intestinal asymptomatic amoebiasis. It is drug of choice for the mild intestinal asymptomatic amoebiasis. Given after tissue mibicide to eradicate the cyst in the lumen and given in combination with metronidazole or tinidazole. Its ADAs are, it can cause the flatulence, it can cause itching, it can cause urticaria. 8-hydroxyquinolone. This is the also the luminal limibicide, which is also known as the quinitoclor or idoquinol. It is rarely now used because it causes the neuritis and optic damage. Means it will cause the optic neuropathy, and it can cause the subacute peripheral optic neuropathy. Neuritis can be caused. So its action is similar to diloxanide furet, and it is not used nowadays because it causes neuritis and optic damage. Cheap with good patient acceptability. It is cheap and it has a good patient acceptability. Uses are luminal limibicide, giardiasis, and it can be used as a treatment of giardiasis also, and for the Trichomonas vaginitis also. For fungal and bacterial infections also, ADAs are can cause nausea, transient loose and green stools, pruritus, iodism, inflammation of the mucous membrane. Tetracycline is the antibiotic which directly inhibits the amoeba at higher doses, and unabsorbed portion affects the gut flora as Entamoeba histolytica lives symbiotically with the normal flora. Means when it is unabsorbed, it can affect the gut flora also. And it can be used as an adjuvant to the luminal amoebicide. Older preparations are used as they are poorly absorbed. So the difference between the treatment of the various types of the amoebiasis, like amoebic liver abscess or the invasive intestinal amoebiasis, the first line drug of choice is metronidazole, tinidazole, or secnidazole. The second line drug of choice for diarrhea and intestinal pain, it should be followed by the luminal amoebicide. For the chronic intestinal amoebiasis or asymptomatic cyst passes, that is for the killing of cyst, we have to give the metronidazole, secnidazole, tinidazole, followed by the diloxanide furet. And second is we can give the metronidazole, tinidazole, and tetracycline can also be given concurrently to complete the clearance of the cysts. In hepatic liver abscess, we can give metronidazole, tinidazole, and we can also give the chloroquine. And we can also aspirate the abscess, and which should be followed by the luminal amoebicide. So for the giardiasis, giardiasis is the infection which is caused by the Giardia lamblia and flagellate protozoan, which infects the uh, children and adults by orofecal contamination. Now, it is the it is the infection which is caused by the flagellated protozoan, which infects the children and adults by orofecal contamination. It mostly lives as commensal in the intestine, Giardia lamblia. It invades the mucus and it causes the acute watery short duration diarrhea with foul-smelling stools and gas and abdominal cramps. If untreated, it may pass to chronic diarrhea with greasy and frothy stools. Because if it is untreated, it can lead to greasy and frothy stools also. First, there is the development of diarrhea with foul-smelling stools and gas and abdominal cramps, which if it is untreated, it can lead to greasy and frothy stools also. So drugs for giardiasis is metronidazole, 400 milligram TDS for 5 to 7 days, or 2 gram daily for 3 days. Tinidazole 0.6 gram daily for 7 days or 2 gram single dose. Secnidazole 2 gram single dose. Nitazoxanide is used for diarrhea caused by Cryptosporidium parvum, Giardia lamblia, or Entamoeba histolytica. And this is the drug which is given in the dose of 500 milligram twice daily for 3 days. Quinidaclor can be given 250 milligram TTS for 7 days, and furazolidone can be given 100 milligram TDS for 5 to 7 days. So, that's all for the amoebiasis and giardiasis. In this video, I will discuss with you only about the amoebiasis and giardiasis, and I hope you have understood the treatment of amoebiasis, that is caused by Entamoeba histolytica, and giardiasis, which is caused by the Giardia lamblia. And I hope you understood this video. If you understood this video, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel as Dr. Nitika Pharmacology Discussion. Thank you. Be happy, be blessed, stay safe, happy learning. All the very best. Thank you. All the very best. Thank you.